Hi, good morning friends. So today we are going to discuss about a recent topic, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on Maldivian economy. So how that COVID-19 will affect our economic performances only we are going to be try to discuss. And this entire video as an economics teacher, my point of view only I am discussing. So sometimes you maybe have a different opinion, so you can comment it below the video. Okay. So let's check. Before we have to be understand, we are discussing this video on Maldivian point of view. So first we have to be understand what is the characteristics of Maldivian economy and how the GDP is contributed in Maldives. So let's see here. In this figure, the contribution to GDP we are discussing. We will start with fisheries and agriculture contributing just only 3% of the economy. And 27%, that is the largest share of the GDP, is contributed by tourism sector, and 17% of the GDP is contributed by construction and manufacturing, electricity and water, and 11% is contributed by government administration, transportation and communication around 9%, and other services are 23%. So when we are discussing a COVID pandemic and its effect on Maldivian point of view, keep in mind this economy is particularly based on the tourism and fishing. We can say very simply tourism, fishing and transportation and communication, and we can able to say that construction, manufacturing, electricity and water. So we will be discussing these three phases and some other services also we will be considered, and how it will be affecting our economy, and in this pandemic situation, COVID-19 situation, how these sectors will be affected. So in order to make it a little more simple, I am going to explain here how this COVID-19 will affect on how it will affect on the consumers, how it will affect the industries, and how it will affect the governments, and some policies recommended. So these are the things I am planning to discuss in this video. So let's check how it will affect the customers. So here, impact on customers. The first and most important impact is income of the consumers will fall. As we all know, COVID-19 pandemic has resulted as supply side shocks and demand side shocks together, and it has become a most dangerous situation after 2008 recession. So most of the customers will face a loss of income. The customer's income will fall. How the income is falling? Because of unemployment, job losses, salary cuts and overtime ban. So like these kind of government policies, not only in Maldives, in throughout the world, this job reduction, salary scale reductions, and all those things we can experience. So income of the consumers will fall. We all feel the same thing. As a Maldivian, we can able to understand that in this particular situation, the other sources, the customers will have a salary, basic salary will be there. Other than some other incomes will be there. For example, as a teacher, for me, government will be give a salary and some tuition fees will be there, and some other college classes will be there. Because of this pandemic situation, what will happen is that as a customer, my income is reduced. The same thing will happen to the all others. For example, we have to be check about some business person. Okay, one business person will have some businesses, and due to this pandemic, what will happen? His income will reduce. Of course, his salary will reduce. For example, one tourism, we can able to take one resort. In resort, there is no customers, there is no profit for the resorts. Then how the employees will get the proper salary? So of course, they will also feel the reduction in their salary level. So that's what I said, the income of the customers will fall. That is a prime important. Then second point, a shortage of cheaper basic product. Actually, we knows that the supply chain, most of the products we are receiving as an imported product, especially a country like Maldives, the 75% of our consumer items are imported products. So we can able to see that cheaper products we used to get it from countries like Indonesia, Korea, India, and China. Especially from China, you will be get a cheaper product. But in this situation, what will happen? Those cheaper products will be vanishing. So for example, that's why we will feel a shortage of the cheaper basic products. Basic product, especially I am saying the basic product. What do you mean by the basic necessities? Like food, clothing and shelter and household appliances, electricity equipments like cell phone accessories, those things. Previously we used to get some cheaper product from the China, but now entire country, entire world will face this problem. There is a shortage of raw material and semi-finished goods from China and those countries. So of course we will feel that we have to pay a higher prices for the basic commodities. Then next impact is consumer spending may reduce. We know that, and as the first point I discussed, the income of the consumers will fall. Do you think that the consumer's income will fall means what will happen to the consumption? Income and spending will have a direct relationship, isn't it? So when the income falls, automatically what will happen? Consumption will fall. Then next point, consumer saving may increase, marginal propensity to save. In this situation, we know that in next month we don't know what will happen. That was the situation. So in this situation, I will try to save maximum of my salary, because in next month suppose anything happened, any dangerous situation, we have to be survived. So that time we need money. Sometimes the government will say that you can't able to get the salary, so how I will survive? So automatically consumer will be reduce the spending and try to save more. That is the marginal propensity to save means changes in saving divided by changes in income. For example, when the income changes, how much saving changes? That's what we are discussing here. So marginal propensity to save will increase because of the lack of consumer confidence. Then next impact on the consumer is the luxury items and house prices may reduce. Especially the luxury items. Seriously, the demand for new cycles and bikes, and we can able to say gold. So like that kind of luxury items will be there. Those demand may be fall this time. Because of the COVID-19, what happened? Those consumers are not at all feeling safe to buy those kind of stuff. So now they are not in a mood, or they are not in a feeling secure for buying this one. For example, entire country is locked down, then how we can able to purchase a new car or new bike or new cycle, something like that. So actually it will affect our luxury purchasing items. It will be demand for the luxury goods will fall a lot, and house prices may reduce. So nowadays we know that house demand for houses are falling because of this COVID pandemic. What will happen? The demand for houses are falling, especially in the major cities. No one want to be living there. For especially no one want to stay in Malay. It is so dangerous. So of course the demand for houses may fall. So now this time you can able to get a houses in Malay with a cheaper price. Then negative wealth effect. Actually wealth means we can able to say that house prices. Now house prices are falling, automatically what will happen? The customer will feel he is relatively poor than before. Comparing to previous, now my assets, my value of my assets are reducing. So that what will happen? My wealth will fall. So automatically I will try to reduce my consumption. That's what we discussed in the previous point. So because of this pandemic, customers will feel that they are not richer than before. So that of course it will affect a spending pattern of the consumers. Then next, a fall in the consumer's confidence. I already said that because of these things, a consumers will not feel a confidence. It reflects the sentiment, emotions and anxiety of the customers. Actually, consumer confidence is influenced by so many factors. For example, we can say emotions and anxiety. We are anxiety. Actually, we don't know what will happen tomorrow, whether the lockdown will be completely extended, or if this entire year it will continue, whether the medicine will be discovered. So in this situation, consumers' confidence is very cheap. For example, we can able to say very low. For example, consumer is not at all confident to do anything, whether to start a new business or purchasing more or to do something. They are not feeling secure, so that the consumer's confidence will fall. So their automatically their consumption and investment saving and entire factors will be influenced by the consumer confidence. So here consumers are not feeling confident. Then next, you can see it here. Shocks associated with the changes in the liquidity and availability of consumer credit, as in the recent credit crunch. For example, you can able to see that the liquidity, the money, liquid money is very shortage in everywhere. So automatically the liquidity will be very less. So if a customer want to borrow some money, even he will not be getting. So that automatically it will affect his consumption. So automatically what will happen? Consumption and expenditure will fall. Then I said now the most important impact on the consumer is inflation. We know that a persistent increase in the general price level. I already told because of the demand side shocks and supply side shocks, the price of the commodity, of course, it will increase. That means that what the general price level in an economy will increase. So of course, it will be result and inflation in an economy. So here we can able to say that increase in the prices of almost all commodities. Why I said almost all commodities? From we can able to say that from pin to pen drive, everything will increase. For example, we can able to say with the food items, agriculture field, agriculture commodity prices will increase because of this pandemic, shortage of laborers, and because of transportation problems and all those things. Of course, agriculture commodity price may increase, and because of the restrictions and all those things, surely what will happen, the manufacturing cost of the products will increase, so that automatically what they will happen, they will increase the prices. Food prices, cell phone prices, television, electronic products, medicines, and household appliances, home appliances, everything we can able to say that A to Z commodity prices will increase. I said medicine even. Why? Because most of the medicines we are getting, like paracetamol, and they can able to say that Maldivian national medicine, we will say used to say now all those medicine we are getting imported from China. So in this particular situation, most of the emergency medicines price even will goes up because of the shortage of medicines. So these are the basic impact. These are the important impact as a Maldivian customer will face because of this pandemic. Then we will discuss about next the impact of on industries, how this pandemic will affect the industries. For example, the manufacturing, tourism, electricity, water, we know that these are the most important things. So how it will affect, we can check it. First one, shortage of raw materials due to supply chain problems. We can able to say that actually we are okay, we will produce cement or we will produce water bottle and all those things. We need a raw material like plastic, water bottle, even we need a bottle, plastic we things we need, cement means we need a set of raw materials. So A to Z we need a raw materials. So here what will happen is that shortage of raw material due to the supply chain problems. Because of this shortage of raw material, what will happen? Surely our industry's cost of production will increase. When the cost of production increases, what will happen? The supply of the products will reduce. So that's what we are saying, it is a supply chain problems. Then next problem is that unemployment may increase. Of course, industries are impacted because of this pandemic. I already said that. The customer demand is very low. Aggregate demand is falling. Whenever aggregate demand is falling, what will happen? The real output will fall. Whenever the real output will fall, the automatically that means the customers are not at all demanding the product. So employers are not in a good mood to produce more. So that they are not feeling that the signal, the price mechanism give a negative signal. So that what will happen? The production will fall. So automatically what will happen? It will increase the unemployment. When it comes back to the Maldivian point of view, how many people are working in the resorts? Now they are jobless. Yes, of course, now they are jobless. For example, they are getting only just survival amount, even they are not getting just 1,000 rupees, less than 1,000 MBR only they are getting. Then how they can able to survive? Okay, just to think about the aviation industry. The flight, Maldivian Airlines, Mantra Airlines, and everything. What happened to their jobs? It is in a trouble, of course. The transportation industry, the ferry services, inter-atoll island services are there. What will happen because of this lockdown? Now they can't able to do anything. They are not getting any money. Then just to think about the density, the magnitude of unemployment it is created by this pandemic. Okay, just to take a normal shops even. Because of the shops closed down, how many people will lose the job? How many ticket booking agencies are closed now? So all those things are giving a momentum to increasing the rate of unemployment rate in an economy. Then another impact is that export will reduce, like tourism services and fishes. For example, you can able to see that tourism is one of the basic thing. We can able to say that our economy's backbone is tourism industry. But now there is no tourist. Then what will happen to our economy? That's what I am saying, that the industries means we are considering tourism as a basic industries. As a developing economies like Maldives, now will feel that we are facing a severe recession, or we will be say that this impact will be very much severe than 2008 recession. Actually, we are facing a so many trouble. We are just developing economy. In that situation, we know that countries like island nations like Maldives will always having their own constraints. In this situation, just imagine how it will be. Then we can able to say that business confidence will leads to fall in investment. Actually, nowadays you just imagine that any new businessman are ready to invest in our country. Of course, no, they are not ready to invest. If you are inviting, even they are not ready to invest. Why? Because they know that in this situation they are not going to get any customers. So how we will survive? It is not a good decision to invest at this time. So that they will postpone the investment. Then what will happen? The same thing. It will be contributed to the fall in export and unemployment will increase and our supply will reduce. The same thing will happen. That means that this cycle will repeat. This is a negative multiplier. A fall in the investment means what? It is a negative multiplier. This negative multiplier will be creating a very severe or a dangerous impact on the GDP and economic performances of the country. So whenever the business confidence is fall, he or she is not ready to invest. So investment will fall. Investment means it will be resulting in a negative multiplier. That will be reduce your GDP more than what we are expecting. Okay. The next impact what we are discussing is that construction industries freeze. Of course, our second major industry is construction industry. So in that industries are now freezed. Why? Because shortage of raw material and it is not possible to move. Mobility of resources are not possible and shortage of resources are there and demand for houses are also reduced. Then how? Just imagine that what will be the impact. Understood. So that will also adversely affecting your economy. Then next, small and medium scale enterprises may adversely affect, maybe bankrupt. Of course, we can able to say that small hotels, guest house, and restaurants. So those kind of industries may be adversely means they are zero, they are gone. That much they are affected. Just imagine that the guest houses are not able to getting a single customers. Then how they will be survived? So that's what I said that this pandemic is very severely attacked in Maldivian economy, not in the number of positive cases because of the negative impact on the economy. Then we can able to see that next impact, most of the companies may face shortage of revenue and profit. I already explained what are the reason for that. So because of that, what will happen? The revenue and profit may be fall. Then aviation sector hits the hardest. We already explained that one. Aviation sector now completely paralyzed. There is no movement. Then hotel industries are also badly affected. I already said most of the hotels and restaurants, guest house, they lose it. They losing means what? The people who are employed there are also losing. The entrepreneur is losing. They are lost. So it is actually very bad. How many people's life is affected? That's what we are discussing here. Then travel and transportation industry, we can able to say logistic, hotel, entertainment, entire travel and transportation industry. These are the industries that are affected badly. Then we can able to say that liquidity risk. For example, we are not getting enough money. Our government itself, we are saying that we don't have enough money. We know that. It is not a fault of the government. It is the entire world facing the liquidity risk. So that is also one of the severe problem will affect our industries. Then shocks directly affecting the export or imports, such as economic collapse of a trading partner. Actually, we will have a trade relationship with Japan, Korea, India. If in those countries that is badly affected, means automatically it will affect our economy, isn't it? Recession spread and boom spread. We already studied those topics. We had to be discussed here. The same way, this is anything happen to your trading partner will automatically affect your economy even. Then when we are discussing about the impact on the government, that is also most important factor, impact of the government. A fall in the quality of life. That is the first thing. Actually, aim of the government is to improve the quality of life. But here, what happened is that first aim, the quality of life of the people is falling. What to do? The standard of health, comfort, and happiness experienced by an individual or a group, that is called the quality of life. That will reduce. Of course, health, comfort, and happiness is reduced because of this pandemic. That is a severe impact of the government. Then we can able to say that Next one is stagflation. It is an economic term persistent of high inflation combined with high unemployment and stagnant demand in a country's economy. We can able to see that in our economy. Now we are, as my point of view, our economy is going to face a severe stagflation. For example, commodity prices will go very high. At the same time, unemployment will also go very high. Our demand will be stagnant or no change in this. In this situation only we need the role of government by using a big push or a physical stimulus or like that kind of things we need to overcome this one. And this maybe leads to poverty even. Possibilities are there. Then when we are discussing another one severe problem what government will face is physical deficit. Because of that first two things I explained above. Because of that what will happen? Government need to spend more money to solve these problems or to maintain the economic standard or maintain economic performances. This is where leads to fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit means we can able to say the difference between the total income of the government and its total expenditure. So income and expenditure. In this situation, of course, government have to increase its expenditure. There is no other way to survive. That is also called what? Fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit means what? Government expenditure is greater than government revenue. That is another one most important effect. Then another one important effect is balance of payment deficit. We are already having a balance of payment deficit. We agreed. But a balance of payment deficit means a country's imports of more goods and services and capital than they export. It must be borrowed from the other countries to pay for its imports. Actually, our balance of payment is balanced by the export of services, that is our tourism industry. Now, that export of services is gone, completely gone, like a 0%. Then you can imagine that how severe is our balance of payment. Still, we are importing goods and services, essential household, food, clothing, shelter, everything we are importing. So just imagine that what will happen to your balance of payment situation and how severe the effect will be. So it will be also be create a negative multiplier effect on the economy. Okay, then we are discussing about the policies to overcome. Here I am just saying that my viewpoint regarding how we can able to overcome from these things. Here first one is expansionary monetary policy. The policy aims to increase aggregate demand and economic growth in an economy by expansionary monetary policy involves cutting an interest rate and increasing money supply and boost the economic activity. Our government is trying to do these things very effectively. Expansionary monetary policy involves a cutting interest rate reductions, debt repayment relaxation, tax relaxation. So all those things will come under, not a tax relaxation will not come, that is a physical policy. Here it's a monetary policy. We will be say that interest rate and we can able to say relaxation repayment loan and all those things. And we can able to say boost the money supply. Our government is requesting World Bank and IMF and all other economies to help us. We need it. Otherwise, we can't able to survive. So, in order to boost the economic activity, so that is a one way of expansion monetary policy to inject some physical stimulus. So, increase the money supply that we can able to help our industries and our tourism industry and all others and small and medium scale enterprises and unemployed people, unemployment allowances, pensions and all those things we have to maintain it to maintain the standard of living. So that what will happen, it is better to go for an expansionary monetary policy and expansionary physical policy. This is the most important policy. Why? Because the government expands the money supply in an economy by using a deliberate tools, either increasing spending or cut the taxes, both of which provides the consumers and business with more money to spend. Of course, these two policies are the most important, or we will say demand side policies. These two are also called what demand side policies, and these two policies are basic policies we need. But for this, we need a physical stimulus. We need a big push. Yes, of course, like a big push theory says, we need a critical minimum amount of investment to overcome this poverty, vicious circle of poverty, or to overcome this global pandemic, or now our economy is going to be a recession. So, in order to overcome this one, we need a physical stimulus, or we need a big push, or we need a critical minimum level of investment. So that government is trying to do as much as they possible. They are trying, and even though if it is physical policy, how we are using that one also a matter. But government is trying. Government is doing this effectively. It will be most effective. Then next one is that policies to overcome. We are discussing about the supply side policies, and this is the most severe, or we can have to say the fundamental policy every economy will follow to overcome this situation. So as a government attempt to increase the productivity, increase the efficiency in the economy, free market supply side policies involves increasing the competitiveness, free market efficiency. For example, we can able to say that there is a two type of free market policies and market interventionist policies are there. So market interventionist policies, privatization, deregulation, lower income tax rates and corporation tax rates and all those things are there. So these policies will also help the Maldivian economy to overcome from this pandemic. And another one thing is currency devaluation. That will be helps to changes in our export and import prices, and it will be helps to solve the problem of balance of payment and our demand for export data. So I think that will also be a little bit helpful for our government. So these are my viewpoints regarding COVID-19 pandemic on Maldivian economy and its impacts. So thank you.